Look what I've got. I know it's a very big box, that's what I have. But what I have inside is a H-frame easel. It's a Meeden one. I spent ages looking for a H-frame. I've always wanted one. So I've got my art studio. Now I wanted a H-frame easel, but I'm hoping it's going to fit in here because, well, I'm 5'3" and I can touch my ceiling. So I'm hoping it's not going to be too tall. And I have no idea where I'm going to put it yet either. But I want to put it together, and I thought I'd show you the process of me putting it all together and to see what it looks like. I'm so excited. Okay. Oh gosh, I always jump about when I'm excited, so I can't help it. But I thought I'd get all this stuff out of the box, and I was a bit worried because I was even struggling trying to walk around it while I'm putting it up. And the whole time I was putting it up, I was just, where am I going to put it? What am I going to have to let go? How can I move things around? So I was thinking about organising while I was putting it together. So while you're watching me very quickly, because I've sped it up very quickly, putting this together, I thought I'd like to mention that I now have a Redbubble shop. I've had a Redbubble shop for a while, and then I just left it for a bit, and I've decided to go back to it. And now I have all my mini wash paintings. I thought that I would update the Redbubble shop and put them on there. So if anyone likes any of those paintings, they could go over to the shop and you could get a print, you can get a poster, you can get a print in a frame, you could get a puzzle, a jigsaw puzzle. I might even buy one myself. That'd be nice to have my own jigsaw puzzle of my own artwork. Yeah. And there will be other merchandise that my paintings will be on. And I thought I would let you all know. So what I've done is I've put the link to my Redbubble shop in my YouTube, as well as in the description of the channels as well. Not channel, the videos. So help yourself if you feel like you would like to have one of my paintings, and that would be great if you did. That would be awesome. There is already some of my artwork on the shop that I've done in the past that I don't have any videos of because I didn't have YouTube then. I had Redbubble shop first, and I will update the shop with my miniature gouache paintings in the next week or so, because it does take time to get them on there, but I will do that. So let's get back to what I'm doing here. I started putting it together and then I realised I got some of it back to front. I thought, oh god, I've got to undo it and do it again. I can't remember what part of the when I had to undo it again, but you will see me do that. I think it's actually, I'm trying to figure it out now, thinking, well, that's not right. It's not. And I'm looking and I'm looking and I'm like, oh no, I've got to undo it. So it took me ages, but it's got to be done. So yes, I am actually taking it apart again. So I didn't really get that far before I have to start again. Yeah, I really should have looked at the drawings properly, shouldn't I? Never mind. But I was actually a bit tired because I'd been at work that day. Well, I work every day. And then you come home and, you want to do something like this and you think, oh, how long it's going to take me to do it. I was a bit tired and I hadn't even started. But, I'm a bit stubborn and I'm going to stick to it until it's done. So here I am, putting the pieces back again in the right place this time. and I just wanted to get this things built up. I'm thinking it shouldn't take that long because some of it was already built, like the main part of it was. I was just trying to get this bottom bit done. Now I'm putting this other side, I can actually see like the size of the bottom part, like how much space it's going to take. Like this is just the square part of it on the bottom, if you know what I mean. And I'm just like, oh, it's not going to fit in here. A little bit stressed, but I thought I'm going to carry on doing it because I'm hoping it's not going to be too tall. But at the same time, I was so freaking excited, and I really liked the colour that I picked as well. 'Cause when I started with this studio, I was like, I'm going to have white furniture so it blends into the walls, so it looks bigger. No, that didn't happen. I went the complete opposite, didn't I? Because I like old-fashioned furniture. And old-fashioned furniture, I don't think I've ever seen white old-fashioned furniture. I could be wrong, but furniture that I like is not white. And I thought, oh, it doesn't matter as long as it's functional because old furniture for me is proper real wood. So it shouldn't break easy. And apart from the new cupboard that I bought, when you will see that in the end of the video when I show you the studio, that the table that you see in the front here, this grey table, I had to let that go, and you will see the new cupboard that I've got, and it does blend in with the other furniture, but it's not real wood. But it's okay. It does me fine. So you can see here that I'm putting the main part on because it can sit flat as well. Oh, I've got no room in there. After I was actually like, oh no, please, it's got to fit in here. I barely had any room to even put this together, and I really didn't want to have to send it back. But I was nearly at the end of putting it up, and I thought, well, we'll see. I mean, that's looking really nice. There was lots of knobs and screws, and like the adjustments, like making it higher, laying it flat. A little bit confusing because I was trying to figure out which bit was moving what. As you can see, it's nearly touched the ceiling, but I don't have to have it too tall. I mean, that's tall enough for me because I'm just little anyway, and it's awesome. So it's been about a week and a half, and I had to change a few things in the art studio because when I put this easel together, I didn't have any room, and it's not going back, it's staying here. So what I do, I will give you a quick tour of the things that I've changed, and at the moment it's just going to stay the way it is and see how I get on. So let's get on with that tour, shall we? Okay, so I've got the camera flipped round the right way, so now my art studio is the correct way round compared to when I was building the easel. So this is my new cupboard. Before I had a desk there that was sticking halfway out into the room, so I had to get rid of that, unfortunately, and replace it with this little cupboard. And in here I now have my palettes, my watercolours and gouache palettes, and my dip pens in there. And on this shelf here, this is all my soft tools that I use for my pastel work, all nicely set out, and some more watercolour palettes there, and a blue box that I'll probably get rid of. And there's some miscellaneous things at the bottom. And what was really handy is I could attach my rig to it because I needed it to be like attached to something like that. And my rigs are now set up like this, so I can now do some recording for YouTube much easier. And this is my where I like to do my pastel work here, still on its table, so that hasn't moved. And I still have my dining room table there. So I'm quite happy the way that is. The easel actually stands there at the moment, sort of in the middle, near against the wall. And this chest of drawers used to be against that wall, and I just moved it round to this wall. And I've emptied quite a lot of it, but I've got like large papers. I've got my pastel mat in here now, in one of these drawers too. And I kept this in the corner for my CDs and my brushes, as you can see. The bureau is still in the same place, nothing's changed there, and my son's bureau is still there as well. And this cupboard is still here as well. I really like that cupboard. And I've got a piece of artwork on the side there. That's my oil pastel painting. So if you haven't seen the video on that, go and have a look if you like. And I have this cupboard here. I did make some changes in the drawers. And here is a bottle from my best friend of 45 years. And it lights up when you turn it on. And she thought it was appropriate because that's what it says. So thank you very much. Thank you, Sarah. That lives in here now. And I bought these Meeden drawers. These are really great. And I have all my pastel painting, all my pastel pencils, not paintings, in here. All my Carbonfellows, my hits, half and half there. I like them by brand. And my Derwent. And the Giocondas starting at the back there. And they're there. And then the, what are they called? Contes. And then my Contes. And then these are just random drawing pens and that on these three here. So they are great. So when I took them out of here, I now have this in here, and this divider is what you put knife, forks and spoons in. It used to be on my parents'. It was in the large drawer of the desk that I got rid of, so I had to find a new home for that. I know, sorting out by blue, black, blue and red, and I think some of them don't work, so I'll go through them at some point. And that's where I keep my blending tools in there for my oil pastels, which are now in this drawer. And there's some drawing pens in here that I've put in there, and my other oil pastels in here. And these Giocondas are in the Meeden drawers, but I've put some more oil pastels in here that didn't come in the box. They were just extras that I bought. And then some of my gouache in here. And then nothing's changed in here. I've got all my gouache. That was in the large drawer as well, so I've put these in here. That's the Meeden. They're awesome. These are Meeden and they're ceramic, and these have my gouache in it, and they do crack a little bit, but they're the Holbein gouache. They work really well in here, so they haven't fallen out, and it's great. I love it. Those two drawers haven't changed at all. Then these rainbow drawers, they were here, but because I wanted to change the drawers and put them this way, I had to move the rainbow drawers because I've got plugs there that I need to get to. So now I've got them beside the chair, and also I've got stuff under the chair, look. I didn't know where to put it. So in all, I now have some more space. I'm actually quite happy at the moment the way it is, so I'll work with it the way it is at the moment and see how I get on. I'll talk about those two paintings. So these are pastel portraits. This is my very first pet portrait that I did, and it was for my mum's birthday present quite a few years ago, but because my mum's now passed away, I've now got her picture back. And this was a Jason Morgan tutorial that I did, and I got it properly framed. For me to get this properly framed, it cost me £135. So I would like to start putting some artwork on my blank walls, because it is an art studio, but I don't want to make any holes in it because it's not brick. So I've got these, and I know that a lot of you know what they are, so I don't have to make holes. But I've got to try and figure out how to put them on here, because like if I turn this one round, if I put them on this wooden bit, it's got like a lip, so I think it's still not going to attach to the wall because it sticks out too much. So I've got to figure out what to do. I might have to take this off, pad it out a bit maybe. I'll have to figure it out, because my mum used to hang it on a nail, you see, and I don't want to put nails in this wall. So I'll figure that out. And what I have done as well is I've got some canvases toned. I'd already put loads of gesso on it and sanded it down and everything, and I've got them two toned and that one as well, and they're dry now, so I'm looking forward to painting on those on this. But when I was toning those, I thought I would put them on here just to see what it feels like, and this is how I had it set up. I'll show you what I mean, how I had it set up. So let me sort the camera out, put it on the tripod. Okay, so the camera is on a tripod so you can see what I'm going to be doing, but this is what I did when I was putting the cameras on there and I started just toning them, and I think this is how I'm going to work with them. So if I let me just take that off so it doesn't fall on the floor when I move it. Put that on there. So what I did is move this over here, and if I stand it here next to the rig, I can have my camera set up so you can see me painting and things like that. And then in this top drawer, I had my paint palettes in here, and what I did is I opened my bureau and I put the paint palette on here, and if I open it up, let's just throw it on the floor like that. Didn't see that. And what I have is I've got glass palettes, but they're actually made, I've got two, I've got a little one, yeah. They're just picture frames, and I just put grey paper on it, and now I've got a glass palette. Didn't hardly cost me anything. And then I've got oil, not oil, open acrylics, and if I put them in here, they won't dry up really quickly because they're slow drying. So this is really handy, but I just leave them in here. I don't need to take them out. I put it on here, and then I was just picking up my colour and painting it on, and I thought, well, actually this works well, because you know, when I'm finished painting, just put it away, can't I? And then I can then put this with the lid back on in the drawer. Let's put my lid back on there. So I think that'll work quite well. And then, you know, after a painting session, I can just move it back there, and it won't be in the way. But if I need to set up the table, I'll just move this over there in the corner so I can then sit at that table with a drawing board, which I have here. So it's just one of those extendable ones, and I'll just put it on there. Or if I'm doing my pastel work, I like to stand and do that, so I don't need to move anything. I could just stand here, and I've got all my drawers that I want, and this has got a drawer itself as well with all my tools and that in it. So I think for now I'm quite happy, but I will get my art work up on the walls so it actually looks like an art studio. And it'll be nice for everyone to see them as well. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.